welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another meeting. This meeting, we will be continue talking about marketing and how to do marketing, and we will be talking about articles. I know that some people love writing. I do. Other people are not so keen. So, what do they do if they don't write articles? So, grab your coffee or tea. Come in. The meeting is about to start. And I now declare the meeting open. So let's talk about articles and marketing and how we can advertise ourselves in social media, for example, if we don't write articles. And that is something that happens with some people. I know it is not very common among translators. Once we part of our job is actually writing, so reading and writing is something that translators usually do and like doing. However, everyone is different. Everyone may have different ideas, different tastes, and obviously there's always a way of doing things slightly different. And honestly, I think if we do it slightly differently, that's the way we actually can do it better because we are not just following the same pattern as other people, and we are just being inventive and creating other forms of doing things that are also effective, that are also good, and give us results. At the end of the day, that's what we all want. So, what about if you don't like to write articles? Because usually that's what everyone does on social media, etc., etc., when they want to advertise and showcase their skills. After all, that's what we all do. We get a text in a language and we convert that text to another language. So basically, um, our day at work is writing. Um, but we cannot obviously say that the writing or the work that we have when we are translating a paid job, for example, an article or a document for a paid client, is the same thing as creating an article to publish, for example, on our website or social media, etc. Obviously, that's different components of writing and different things involved. For to write a good article, to write good content, you need to be a good copywriter. You need to be a good writer, and you need to know exactly what you want to say and express yourself in a very natural way. I know that that happens with me because I really love writing. I must say that since a very early age, I always had this habit of writing everything, writing my thoughts, writing my plans, writing everything. So I'm quite confident with writing, and I do love to express myself in writing, uh, more so even than in video, even though this is a new adventure for me. And so for me, it's quite natural that when it comes to showcase my skills and when it comes to showcase who I am, I'm going to do it in writing. I'm going to do it through articles that I write about things like the industry, about my specializations, my passions, which, for example, aviation is one of them. And this is actually something I do naturally. But a lot of people may not like or may not be creative enough or may not have the right mindset to be a good copywriter, to be a good writer. So they may find other things. So you always have to first of all assess what specializations are you working with and what type of clients do you want to attract, and then you always find something else that you can do except for writing. Some people may work in an industry or in a specialization where, for example, you can do some nice games or something. You know, you you always have to find something that first of all, is appropriate for the field that you are working with. Of course, you're not going to be something a little funny or a bit more outside the box if you, for example, a legal translator rather, because you know that, you know, in the legal field, and obviously there are exceptions, but there's usually a little bit more formal kind of language expected and things expected. So you would probably won't get your results, but in some areas you might be open to do different things. But there's always a way of doing things. You just have to be creative, and that's very important. Even if you write articles, creativity is one of the main components of writing a good article. Is being creative and expressing yourselves, expressing your views, being honest, and expressing them in a creative way that gets your reader into it. So, for example, if you don't like writing, you can, you know, do something like, let's say, a little game with words, little quizzes, a lot of things, even videos. If you don't like write articles, but you are very good with talking, you can do videos. You can actually talk and do all your things with video. Although, if you are a translator, clients would expect to see some writing stuff. So at some point, you will have to write something because they will expect to see something. But just let yourself go and get some creativity and think about things that would work for the industry you are working with. Quizzes, questions, polls, video, you name it. But please be authentic and don't copy others. Sometimes we see the tendency of having the same idea, and in marketing, unfortunately, you see a lot of that with advertising, and sometimes you see ads that use the same music of other ads, or they use the same model of other ads. And I know it may work well for those companies, I'm not saying otherwise, but in my view, I think if you are authentic and if you are different, you are the first one to show it. So it will always be the best. So be authentic, don't copy others, don't copy what other people are doing, just do your own thing. Think about what's best. Think about what might get your clients. See what they do with their marketing campaigns. And then you may get lots of ideas of things that you could do in your end that will actually get them attracted to what you're doing. Because if you're doing something similar to what they're doing, I'm not saying the same, similar in the same lines, it's like you speaking the same language as them, and therefore they are more prone to go and have a look of what you're doing and check it out, and then go into your page and see what you do, etc., etc. So bear this in mind. Just because you don't like writing, it's not the end of the world. I know, and as I said, it's not very common with translators because usually we are quite prone to writing and reading because it comes with our job. So it's something that we really like doing. However, of course, there is always someone that won't write and won't like to write articles. It's not creative enough. It doesn't. It's not prone to express themselves well in writing. So for them, there's always an alternative. There's always something nice you can do. For example, if you are in the literary field, a little poem, a little quote from someone that you can translate, for example. And let's imagine you put one post and you say, do you know this quote? What about the translation? How would you translate this to your, for example, to your target language, and see what people come up with? And then a few days later, you would give them the answer of your solution. This is just one idea. So you can you can obviously diversify and do different things, do games, do quizzes and polls, um, or you just may publish quotes that you translate, and people will see your skill, and they don't even need to read your articles. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this meeting. I now declare the meeting closed. I hope you really liked this idea. And if you really don't like writing, um, I hope it helped you having some alternative ideas that of things that you can actually do that can still showcase your skills and don't force you to be writing articles every week. As I said, at some point, I think one or two articles won't hurt, and it will be required that you do. Um, but again, I think with experience and you may get yourself trained on it, and eventually you may actually end up enjoying it. So, but if you are there, and if you, for example, if you hate writing, if you just read it, um, and you have other ways of showcasing your skills, please share. Why not? Please share with us. Let's get more and more and more and more ideas going. Or if you actually love writing, and but also you have other alternative ways that you do in order to complement your writing with something more fun, more light, whatever, um, please share as well. It's always important to have um, different opinions so we can actually enrich the content of these videos and these conversations. So before I go, put a like on the video, the YouTube algorithm, the whole story, and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new meeting every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye.